I tell you what, you made a right meal of that.
I can't believe it, we're finally working on the inside. We've got some plasterboard to put up on the walls. A little bit dubious about doing that before the roof's finished, but it was too windy and rainy to get it done. Let me show you what we got up to. It's really looking like a building now and really quite exciting. So let's go and take a look.
Well, we're going to dodge the weather today. We're finally working on some walls. We've got plasterboard that arrived yesterday. So in the end, we decided on using the 9.5mm plasterboard. It's tapered edge. It's going to be minimal plastering and skimming. We'll work from the inside, and then we're going to cut all of our boxes in after. Right, a little bit on the glue. I'm using this, which is basically not an expanding foam. It's an adhesive, it's a PU glue. Really good stuff for various applications. But I'm going to use it on the plasterboard. You can use it a bit like dot and dab effect, as if you're going up on a solid wall. And we're going to almost do that when we come to fitting onto the OSB, which is why I bought it. But I figured while we're at it, I'm going to put some little blobs on the studs. That's going to reduce the number of screws we're doing, but also just keep things a little bit more rigid. Less chance of the screws popping. It doesn't expand, well, not much, so I'm hoping that that's just going to hold it in a little bit. I know that when people do use adhesive on stud walls, which seems to be the go-to route in Australia, bizarrely, they don't put any on the outside because obviously you end up with squeeze out and it can push the screws off. So it's more about in the centre. Right, just cover it off so I know where hopefully it's basically on there.
No, it needs to be moved in, like angled. That's it.
Oh god, you've overshot that corner, haven't you? God. I tell you what, you made a right meal of that.
My best one, Tim!
Okay. Yeah, it's just because we're not skimming, you just need to be careful on the corners.
Yeah, well, I think it was the tuition.
Okay, sorry.
Lacking.
Perfect fit.
Right, I better give you a bit of an update because we're feeling a little bit room-like in here. One room done, Joe's cut the boxes in, just got to work out a heater position down here because there's going to be a fuse spur for the heater and a double socket to go in. Once that's in, this room is almost done. We're going to hold off, we've got a few offcuts that we can put in on these ones. Now, like I mentioned earlier, we're using 9.5mm tapered edge plasterboard. For those of you who might not know what that means, that basically just means that the edges of these boards taper in and they're thinner. So instead of doing the ordinary thing, ordinary for the UK, to just skim all of our walls and end up with a 2-3mm skim of gypsum over the boards, instead of that, we're just going to be doing the joints. So we've got a few screws that will get filled, but the rest of it is going to be just this strip. It's going to get taped, jointed, and then that will all be sanded off. And then in this room where we've gone over the OSB on the walls, we've done away with any screws. I think we've got one screw just to make sure it wasn't bowing out at all. In this instance, the glue is doing all the work. We put a bit more, so it's a bit more like doing a dot and dab, albeit that it's tight against the OSB. And the only place we've got screws is the edge where we've got a trim piece, the joint where we're obviously going to be skimming, and around the window where we're going to be putting a bit of a trim around there. So we shouldn't have too much to worry about on this wall at all.
I imagine some of the comments have already been typed, but I'm going to go through our reasoning and thinking behind why we have gone with plasterboard after all that discussion weeks ago on why we've been trying to avoid using plasterboard. First up, cost. There is no cheaper way to cover a wall. I could have done wood cladding. I could have done some sort of lightweight PVC board, composite board, faced plywood, caravan panels, anything like that. All of them cost more. One of the main reasons why we didn't want to use plasterboard is because, of course, this is a cabin and it's on a chassis, which means that inherently there's going to be some movement in the building, and that would translate into having cracks and things like that. So we didn't want to do a full skim. That was also down to weight, because plaster is heavy, and you put a skim over everything, it really adds, hundreds of kilos to the build. 9.5mm plasterboard is often used for kind of over-sheeting over something else. It's not really that strong in itself, but we've already got 400 sensors on our wall, so that's better than not having 400 sensors. We've also decided to using adhesive, and you saw that going on. It was just a normal plasterboard adhesive out of a tin that you would be putting as if you're dot and dabbing. It's PU glue, it's pretty strong. We've put some on the studs, and then on these walls where we've gone directly onto this OSB, we're fully supported here. Like, there's absolutely no chance of these having any issues with them, and that's glued on. So really the only place where we've had to use screws is on these joins and a couple in the centre. So I think the glue could have saved us. Also, having looked at other buildings like this being made commercially, they all seem to use plasterboard, so it can't be that catastrophic. Then we can't, you know, as far as the cracks, we'll wait and see. But at the end of the day, you just fill it and sand it and paint it. It's not the end of the world. Another way to combat a chance of any cracking in movement is just, we're going to use a corner trim. It's so much more forgiving than trying to joint this and tape it. I think that's a good way to go. So neat little corner trim, painted the same, just blend in. Around the windows we're going to have like a reveal lining and then a frame around the outside, so there's no need to worry there. We've got all the boxes in, so we've got a double socket over here. There was a bit of concern about socket numbers, but believe me, a double socket over there and a double socket down here is plenty for a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old. We're not going to be in this building for that much time, so yeah, I mean, you could argue that there's going to be electronics and hair dryers and all sorts, but we'll save that for the main build. In here, that's all the electric the little munchkins need. Anyway, they'll be working on the farm, it's fine. So double socket there, and this is a single spur for our electric radiator, which will sit somewhere along that wall. Light switch into the next bedroom, pretty much a mirror image. Heater, double at the end there. We've also decided, much to the delight of the girls, we're going to put in custom beds. So I'm going to build a bed across here. Annoyingly, the room ended up 100mm shorter than a single bed, or 150mm probably. That was because I wanted a sensible width corridor, you know, hallway running down the cabin. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a floating bed, a sensibly but fun height off the ground, so they've got a bit of space underneath. That makes use of a small room. While it might not be somewhere where they can walk under, it'll be certainly somewhere where they've got a little chair and maybe the chest of drawers can tuck underneath it. I think it's a good way to go. So the same in here again. Probably a little bit higher in face room. And then the steps that go up to it, rather than a ladder, we'll use some steps that create storage as well. So it's a little bit camper van style, make use of every bit of space we can, bearing in mind that these are smallish rooms, but they still beat a static caravan, right? So then last room that we've done is Eden's one at the end here. You'll notice that some walls I've, well, with the help of Craig, put them in horizontal, and some we've done vertical. Why have we done that? Well, I don't really know. We were kind of experimenting, but basically if the wall was less than 2.4 meters, we put them horizontal because we wouldn't have any butt joints at the end of the boards, and it basically means that this whole wall here just needs a tape and joint along there, and then a little bit just to feather it square at the top and bottom. Whereas this wall here on the end was, as you can see, 2 sheets and a bit, so it's 2.4, 2.7, and therefore we ran them vertically. Again, not really much to do, just vertical, swipe, done. So we put a bit of weight into the walls by using plasterboard, but actually there weren't many options, and I've already stated why we used it. For the ceilings, we are going to avoid plasterboard. That is going to be the lightweight paneling, so it's a white PVC cladding that goes on the ceiling, very minimal joins, it's matte white, looks pretty smart, and we're going to pick that up next week. So those can go in, but I'm going to put them in after. So we'll get the walls done, we might even decorate because I'm going to spray. We can spray everything without masking, and then we can get these ceilings in, and I imagine there's some sort of corner trim which will or not corner trim, sorry, just like an end trim that slots on, and then that way it finishes neat against these boards all the way around. We've made sure that we're up off the floor a little bit, and we're down off the battens as well, so that our boards aren't trapped in any way. So again, any movement, we're not going to risk kind of forcing things at all. So where does that leave us? Well, in the master bedroom, we've got all of our boards here now, hopefully enough to finish off. So we've got this room to start. Bathroom's going to be panelled with some sort of bathroom panelling. Then the utility will be a combination of plasterboard and possibly some other wall panelling. In theory, we're not really going to be splashing around in here, so it might be that we just use plasterboard just to keep costs down and keep it straightforward. And then the little toilet, again, might be a little bit of a splashback, but apart from that, just boards. So we've got enough to get on with. And then coming through into the open plan area, this end does have more boards to do. The little stud wall that creates our hallway, we're going to do in feature timber of some sort. So probably like some sort of shiplap look that we can put pegs and stuff on. So that's sorted, but then the external walls are where the plasterboard's going to be needed. 400 centimeters again, I think it should be all right. We'll use the glue, and that will be from there to the corner. This end wall is going to be a feature wall. We were going to do it in some sort of barn boards or vertical cladding. However, most of those boards were going to be quite thick, and Joe's been looking into cork. So we might look at using cork tiles with the cool patterns and stuff going on. It might look like a giant pin board, but we'll see. We haven't seen too many examples of it, so it might not. It might not happen. And then we've got a bit of plasterboard come along this wall here. It's not a huge amount. As far as weight goes, that's not a concern because it's probably, I don't know, less than 10 sheets to finish the whole thing. And then again, the ceiling in here will be battened out, ready for that same matte white PVC boards. Didn't take more than a day, so pleased with the progress. Gonna need to crack on and get this side done. As soon as I get a dry day, then I will definitely be working on the roof. But other than that, we've got the option now to come in, get some lights on, and just crack on with it, because time is definitely of the essence. We know what we're doing inside. It's just man hours really, and lady hours. We need to get the floor down. Again, floor's decided on. Kitchen is pretty much decided on. We need to get that order in. Bathroom, all the layout and everything is fine. It's just simply a case of doing it. So we need to really focus now. Completely forgot that we haven't boarded the hall walls. So I do need to order some more plasterboard. If you've got any comments or thoughts, then as long as they're nice, then leave them down in the comments. You know, there are other options other than plasterboard. The weight, I think we are beyond worrying too much about the weight. We're definitely not anywhere near the 10-ton limit yet for each half. So yes, moving them is going to be a pig, but it was always going to be a pain. So it is what it is. Everyone knows how to paint plasterboard and sand it and fill it and do all that sort of stuff. It's easy to work with, and I think it's probably the quickest way to go as well. Windows do need to go in soon. I've got to get the stretch sort of sill tape. We can tape all these membranes, get that aperture finished, and then the windows will just sit in lovely. Cannot wait for that, because then we'll have some daylight in these rooms and I won't be looking like a smurf. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because we've got a lot of stuff to do. I've got sheep misbehaving, jumping in with chickens and trashing fences. All that usual Friday afternoon stuff that no one really wants to be dealing with. Anyway, I better leave it there. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you next time.